Hi everybody, I'm coming to you today to do a pattern review. This is for it's a Sallie Tomato pattern. It's called Tripper. I made one, I just made one, actually one for myself because I wanted to try it out. And it's a backpack. Prior to going through the full review, to let everybody know, I do sew on a domestic sewing machine. My sewing machine is an Elna Experience 550. Pattern reviews are just simply to give my tips and tricks, things that I've learned, struggles, easy parts, and just overall to let people know about a pattern before they purchase it, in case they want to know things that they have, because there's a lot of bag makers that still sew on domestics, and I wanted to let people know some of the struggles I have if I have a domestic and things of that nature. Okay, so let's get into it. Again, it's called the Tripper by Sallie Tomato. This is her pattern. I can go ahead and show the cover because that is out there. This pattern, again, it's a backpack. It's a really unique style of backpack. It's not your basic backpack that most everybody's designing, you know, your top zippers, side down, the oval at the top. There's, I mean, a lot of them out there that are very similar. What I liked about this one is that it's different. The top closure is different. I'll go that into detail in just a second. It is a wide backpack, and it has some extra pockets in it that I really liked. I made this for one, like I say, I made one for myself, and it's mainly, well, for trips. She designed this that can be used as a backpack, and she also thought of using possibly diaper bag, because a lot of moms nowadays are using backpacks for diaper bags, which is really cute because of the way she has some of the pockets designs, and I'll show that as well. This is my completed backpack here. The one thing that I want to make everyone know, especially if you sew on a domestic, be very mindful of your materials choice. There is a lot of thickness in this very front pocket here. If you use vinyls or anything heavy, you will struggle. You may not be able to get this on there, so it would be like it would be very disappointing to get your pocket all completely made, and then when you attach it to your front panel, it will be disappointing when you can't get it to sew on correctly because you've got too much bulk. That is one of the big things that I want everyone to know, is be very mindful. My pattern piece, that's it, my pattern piece. This part is cotton, so it's just 100% regular quilting cotton. I did on the Gusset is vinyl. The Gusset is vinyl. I think that is the only vinyl. Yeah, the Gusset is the only vinyl that I used in this bag. And I did that mainly because I didn't have enough cotton fabric to sew the Gusset on this bag. So that's why I chose that. Otherwise, I would have used cotton on this entire bag. The pocket here in the front. Now, she does say in her tutorial, in which Sallie, not Shirley, shouldn't say Sallie, but yeah, Jessica does have a tutorial out on her bag. So I would highly advise you to watch that first before you attempt to make the bag, just so you know what you got to do to make the bag. I actually watched it a couple of times just to get my head wrapped around it, because I bought the pattern when it first came out, and I had it, you know, filed away because I wasn't sure. I liked it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to tackle it. And I decided to tackle it after watching the video a couple of times. And then again, just watch the fabric choices. But again, watch her tutorial. She does talk about this being one of the most difficult parts. It's not so much it's a difficult part of the bag. There's a lot to it because this is not a bound bag. Most bags, a lot of backpacks are bound bags. because of turning. It's very hard to turn a backpack style bag. But this is not a bound bag. This bag is turned. It is a little slouchier. Now I did not line my vinyl to because this is a thick vinyl. This is actually a Sallie Tomato vinyl. It's her legacy, and it's a thicker vinyl. While it is soft, and it can be, and it's a little slouchy, the vinyl is, I still chose not to line it because I'm not going to overload it and or carry things in it that's going to cause distortion in it. So otherwise I would have put some type of lining in it if this was a sold bag. So anyway, so this pocket here, because it's not a bound bag, this pocket is like made completely separate before you attach it to the front panel. So it's made differently than most pockets in a bag. I have personally only done the pocket like this, I want to say, in one other bag, and that was probably 2 years ago. Otherwise, every other pocket I've done on bags have been just your simple basic pockets. But because this is actually sewn on, and I'm not dissolving any secrets because it's in her tutorial, because this pocket is completely made before you sew it on, you have to be careful how you sew on your back of your lining or your linings, and then to the back of the bag. So that's a big thing that you need to be mindful of. The biggest difficulty that I had in making this bag is this zipper here. It's not so much as the zipper itself, it's sewing this the top of the bag. This part is what I struggled with, and I think it's because my zipper was like probably a ½ inch short. I'm not sure how, because my zipper was the measurements that was given in the pattern, and then you have little zipper end tabs, little zipper extender type of things, and you just put them at the tip of your zipper to sew in your bag, so you're not sewing your zipper directly back into the bag. I may have cut them too short when I did that part of it. I'm not sure, but I struggled to get these on, because when you sew it on, because the flap is not put in until the very last thing of the bag. So and the zipper is sewn straight onto the actual bag itself. So it does pose some minor complications, but it's just to be mindful of. Also, with the zipper, she has her turn point in the pattern in the front. Here is where she does her turn point of the bag, and then you just stitch it, then you stitch it closed that way. I was worried because I struggled so much trying to get all this done with the zipper. I chose to, and right now it's ugly, I haven't fixed it yet. I chose to turn my bag in the back where the flap meets the back of the bag. This is where I did my turn point. Again, it's ugly, I have to fix it, but that's where I chose to turn it. It wasn't bad, but because this is where I chose to, and when I top stitched the flap, I top stitched from I top stitch it with this being my top thread. This was my bobbin thread, so I didn't see where I was top stitching. I didn't do really good doing this. So when I do this, prefix it, when I pull this out, I'm going to just top stitch just this back of the bag here by itself, separate from doing like a whole complete thing. I'm just going to top stitch it face up, so that way I can be mindful of the where the seam is, or where the opening is, to make sure that's better looking. So so if you choose to do it this way, you can top stitch. You can always hit your stop and start part on the sides to where you're not seeing where you're stopping. But if you do it the back way like I did, I would definitely do that. And plus, my interior fabric is that Dayflex, which doesn't it doesn't fold flat, obviously, because it's a nylon. It puffs a little bit, so I just be mindful of doing it that way. Be mindful of your interior pockets. I wasn't paying attention in the pattern, as I normally sometimes don't. That's where I always make my mistakes. She has the back of the bag, she has the pockets higher up in the back of the bag. She has these real nice elastic pockets. My elastic is wider than she calls in the pattern, but that's what I had on hand, so which doesn't really look bad. I think it does actually like kind of good with that chunky one, but she calls for a thinner elastic. So you can, you know, always change out if you need to. Just, you know, that as an example, you know, if you need to make it a little thicker, if that's what you got, that's great. What I used was a 1 1/4 inch thick elastic. So anyways, I wasn't paying attention when I sewed on to the back of my lining for these pockets, and I sewed the front pockets to the back because the back ones are a little higher, and then I just cut the front pockets down to match the back pockets when I realized that. Wasted, sort of kind of wasted. I mean, I can always use that part of it, but anyway, actually I kind of like that it is a little lower than it is taller, and this is why I thought it was kind of neat, because when she said that it could also be used as a diaper bag, I mean, you've got these great elastic pockets to put, you know, bottles and stuff in, so would be work as a really good diaper bag. But just again, just be mindful if you want those higher pockets in the back, pay attention to the size of the pockets when you do your elastic pockets. Yes, I could have removed it and resewn it, but I kind of liked the size of the pockets, so I was good with it, and it didn't matter for me to switch them around. So that's the big things that I think. Overall, it was not it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I had envisioned it being a little difficult and cumbersome to try to do. It does get big, but because it is a, you know, larger bag, I'll give the measurements in case anybody's curious for when they want. I couldn't find the measurements on the actual pattern, so I'll go ahead and give the measurements here in just a minute. She also calls for a padded, this just also lets you know there's some of the things that you can change out. She calls for a padded back strap. It's made, you know, it's made with your fabric, and again, I didn't have enough. I only had a yard of this fabric. So I thought to go ahead and do webbing on the strap here, because this does call for a webbing piece, but this part should be the padded part. If you want the padded straps, that's great. Padded straps finished are about I want to say about 2.5 inches finished for the padded straps, so they will come out a little wider on your bag. What I did is I just accommodated for the straps. Obviously they don't go out as wide, but they are positioned basically where they should be from this point here, or I should say from the center out, and then you got your little grab handle that goes with it. So if you want to do webbing instead of a padded strap, that would really work. Since I tried it out, that would be a great option as well. So overall, again, not as hard as, I mean, I definitely would say this would be an intermediate bag maker, mainly because of the pocket here, the bulk, the zipper. I mean, it definitely is an intermediate bag. I would not recommend even an advanced beginner to do this unless you really want a challenge. Or you're just a great, you know, you just got that natural ability that you can sit down and do it, you know. You can, advanced beginner would be great. Oh, I wanted to give the measurements out on the bag just so anybody wants to know if they want to buy this to make for someone that's looking for a bag. So as you can see, the bag is 2 levels. The back is higher than the front, so the back is and I give approximate because I just kind of measured my bag, and I just did a rough little tape measure. So this is 13.5 inches on the back, is rough, this is approximate sizes. The front, I've got them at 10.5 inches, so 10.5 from here to here. It is 6 inches deep, so it's a nice wide, I should say, nice wide bag. And then it's 11 inches wide. So, and I put my and just so anybody wants to know, I put my laptop in, and then it's not like one of the smaller ones, but it's like the average size of laptop. I think it's a 14-inch laptop. Obviously it's not going to fit because this is 13.5 inches. So I thought maybe if I could push it up against the back, it still wouldn't work. It just wouldn't zip shut. So it's not a good laptop bag unless you want to adjust it to make it, you know, taller in the back, or just add an inch to about maybe 1.5 inches overall, the front and the back. You could always accommodate this to throw this as a laptop backpack. So again, this is the Tripper from Sallie Tomato. It's a Sallie Tomato pattern. If you're interested in this pattern, I'll go ahead and put a link to her website to the pattern if you're interested in purchasing it. The only tutorial that's out there is her tutorial on her YouTube page. I'll link that as well. But I just, again, want to do a pattern review. It's a great bag, and anybody that was worried, you know, if they were going to be able to make something like this, I wanted to put that out there. And thank you so much, everyone, and everyone have a great day. Bye.